Oh, what's up? Today's video is 2 looks 1 palette with finally my Natasha Denona Safari palette. And it looks like this. Very beautiful shades. I hope I'm not blinding you. Very beautiful shades. I used everything in this row besides this color. I actually didn't use, hold on, let me see, let me count. Okay, so I only didn't use 5. So I used about 2 rows worth. So I used these 3. I used these 3, these 2, and these 4. Yep, you getting that? Okay, good. Okay, so my, I will go by the first look that I did, and I'm gonna have that on the screen as well. It was this nice, very purple color. It was honestly what inspired me to buy the palette because of these nice purples and pinks down here. However, what I will say is that this shade, this nice purple, is literally, I won't say it's the only reason why I bought this palette, but it's like 95% why I bought this palette, because it just stands out to me, and I felt like I didn't have any other colors like this in my collection, which I know I don't. Most of these colors I don't have in my collection. However, with me having such high hopes with this palette for this shade, and me really needing this shade, I'll say it was underwhelming. It wasn't a fail or anything like that. It just was underwhelming because it's a nice shade. However, I really wanted it to be the star of the show, and I feel like if I didn't have it straight in the middle with my look, then you really wouldn't have really noticed that it was there. It's very muted, and I really did have to pack it on there. However, I did not cut the crease. It wasn't like, you know, it was just a blank canvas. There might have been a couple of shadows under it, so I can possibly understand why I had to build it that much. However, this is a very expensive palette, but I did get it half off, so watch that video. I'm gonna have it in the cards. But yeah, I'll say that my first look, I really did like it. However, with me buying it for this shade, it was just, you know, it was okay. But other than that, that look was pretty well. I will say that I did use the technique that Natasha Denona did recommend with padding and not, you know, swiping all over the eye, and that I definitely did notice that there was no fallout from my eyes onto my cheeks. I hate when that happens because sometimes you might have primer on, because I like to prime before I do my eyes, and then it sticks to the primer, or, you know, then it gets stuck and it's under your foundation. I hate that. I didn't have that problem with this palette. However, there was a lot of kickback in the actual pan, which made me feel like I was losing a lot of product, which, I mean, I don't want to lose a lot of product with such an expensive palette. However, you know, it wasn't a ton, but it was just noticeable to where it's more than other palettes that I do have. Now with my second look, I really wanted to make stone pop a lot in my crease. So you can see it's kind of like this pale gray, and I really love it. However, like I said with the Lotus, I feel like these pastels, these kind of like muted colors, she took the word mute too literally. So I definitely like it. However, I did have to pack it on a lot, but this one was actually right. This was the first shade that I used, so I could see it a little bit more. However, I noticed that, as you can see, my look today, she looks cute, doesn't she? However, this blue shade up top, I didn't want blue, I wanted it green. So my goal was to actually have this stone color, I'm trying not to blind you guys, was to have this stone color in my crease and then pack it on with this rhino. I was thinking that this rhino was actually going to be green, and in the pan it actually does look really green, and online as well. However, with those two on the eye, those are literally the only 2 shades up top, and as you can see, it's very blue. It's not really gray at all. So I mean, that was kind of disappointing because I wanted green up top. However, the look still looks amazing, so I can only, you know, hate so much. And then I put then I cut my crease and I used this Aya shade again. And then after I cut the crease and put that on there, I put this Tamarind on top. Now that shade is very beautiful. Now I will say, the reason why I had to use that shade, because I initially wasn't planning on using that shade because I was only trying to use the Aya. However, this showed up very pinkish on me, pinkish peach. And I really wanted it just to be flesh tone, to be my color. Lots of times my eyelids are already so pink. I don't really want to intensify my veins or anything like that. I just want it to be a nice, like, translucent, like, kind of like almost like a white. And I wish that they had that in the palette, which is why I didn't use this, because this is very pink. I'm not sure if it's really going to pick that up on camera. But this is a very, trying so hard. This is a very pinky shade. So I was hoping this, because this looks a little bit more peach. However, it's still pink in there. So I had to top it off with this. And, you know, it got the job done. It's very nice. And then I put Tribe on the underline there as well. Now, I will say, don't I look very Egyptian? Your girl looks cute. Overall, I will say that this is a very nice palette. I really love it. I didn't have any problems with blending whatsoever. I know a lot of people did. And for a second, I thought that I was having a hard time blending the top two shades. However, I think it was just the brush that I was using. The brush that I was using was a very precise brush, and I've gotten that line before with that brush with other palettes, so I just used a different brush to, like, I didn't use a different brush, but I just took my time blending it out, and it was fine, which, again, I did follow Natasha's recommendation and padding, so I think that maybe that was a very, that was a major difference between it, so I don't have any problems with the formula. Now, do I think it's worth it? I think that it's worth it. I like it. It's very nice. However, I think it's worth the 50% off that I paid for it. Now, if I had this $129, I don't think I would pay $129. I don't think I would, because most of the shades that I wanted, that I was most excited about, really weren't up to the expectation that I had. Like that pink lotus shade, I was really hoping that it would be a lot more bam, as well as that stone color, the colors that I was very I'm really into pastels lately. The colors that I was really looking forward to were the most muted and the ones that I really had to build up. So I wouldn't buy it for the 129 price point. However, with me buying it for the 50% off, I think it was definitely worth it. I'm definitely happy with my purchase. I won't be returning it or anything like that. And I do plan on doing a lot more looks with this. Maybe not on my channel, but definitely for sure using it outside of my channel. And yeah, it was a nice introduction to the Natasha Denona formula. Will I be buying more? I think we'll have to see, because I do have another palette. I have her Sunrise palette right here, which is also mentioned in that video that I said was going to be in the cards. So this is going to be my next 2 looks 1 palette. Yeah, this should be my next 2 looks 1 palette. And when I review this one and do the 2 looks, because I haven't even used it, I haven't even swatched or anything, then I will be able to decipher whether or not I'll buy more from her. But even that palette is only $65, so it's still not even the $129 price point. I am not going to do any swatches because I just don't want to. There should be swatches of the palette, other videos. I will link down below some other videos that I really like on this video. There's a nice lady. There's a nice girl on YouTube who's done like 5 videos on the Natasha Denona Safari palette, and I've really enjoyed her palettes. I really enjoyed her videos. I think I've watched about 3 or 4, and I think there's still like 2 more that I haven't watched. So yeah, that was my review, and I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked this look. I am gonna put the demos in, so you like my eye look? Now, I will say, I do not like this lip color with this look. I really wanted it to be, this is very like cool. I will say I wanted it to be a little bit lighter in the center, but you know, girl still looks bomb. Oh, and I did use my Juvia's Place blush for this look. I remember this blush? I did mention this in my declutter and about how everyone says that it's too dark for me, but your girl's wearing it now. Too dark wear. But you know, whatever. Bye. Peace.